This is the Apple Watch Series 5. But now I'm sure everyone has at least seen one of these smartwatches out in the wild. It's pretty much the most common smartwatch, being as Wear OS isn't doing so hot lately. Apple has the smartwatch formula nailed after nearly 6 years on the market. Wow. Has it really been 6 years already? Over that 6-year span, the Apple Watch has seen serious improvements to not only make it a better timepiece, but a better fitness companion as well. With the Series 6 just around the corner, and there being only a slight difference from the Series 4 to Series 5, is it worth your money? I'm Dave with TechDove, let's find out. The Apple Watch, for 6 years, has had one of the best displays of any wearable device. And I'm happy to say the Series 5 is no different. Featuring a 1.78-inch LTPO OLED display with a resolution of 448 by 368, giving it a pixel density of 326 ppi. Is anyone else noticing a trend with Apple devices in that specific ppi? It's surprising Apple didn't throw the word Retina on this screen. With a peak brightness of 1000 nits, it's clearly legible in all lighting conditions. Well, at least for me it has been. For this year, Apple has retained the 3D Touch display feature that the iPhones have since lost, while adding an always-on display feature, long overdue for a timepiece if you ask me. But be warned, with always-on display enabled, you'll take a pretty good hit to battery life, especially if you go for the cellular model as I did. What's Apple's solution to this? A variable refresh rate display capable of dropping down all the way to 1 Hz from 60, when it's only displaying a watch face. Speaking of watch faces, there are a few new ones this year, though you can get these on prior generations as well, so I won't spend too much time here. Suffice it to say, this is a fantastic display and probably one of the best on any smartwatch, though I think I would prefer a round face instead. By now, we all know that Apple makes some seriously good-looking products. While they're not always the most durable, they often look like a fashion accessory first, a tech product second. Depending on how you feel about that, and your operating system preference, will determine if this watch is right for you. If you're already locked into the Apple ecosystem, you probably already want one or already have one. Anyway, the Apple Watch is available in a few different casing materials. Either aluminum, stainless steel, titanium, or ceramic, though you will pay extra for anything above aluminum. Much like last year's Series 4, on the right side is the fantastic rotating crown, which also doubles as Apple's ECG monitoring system. More on that later. The rotating crown is a feature I wish more smartwatches would adopt. Since Apple likes the copy, everyone else should too, right Oppo? Also on the right side is the microphone for phone calls from your wrist, so you can look like you're straight out of a James Bond movie. And the power button lives here as well. On the top is the Apple Watch band connector. Connector? Is that the right word for it? Nah, I'm sticking to it. On the bottom is the second watch band connection location. On the left side is the speaker, which is only used for phone calls. I wish you could listen to music through the speaker too, since the geek in me enjoys multiple uses for one thing. On top, over the face, is the display. And on the bottom is the heart rate sensor. The Apple Watch features industry-leading water resistance with up to 5 atmospheres of protection for up to 30 minutes. 150 feet for those wondering. And it's miles beyond the normal 2 meters of most competition. Even the aluminum model feels great. It's got a premium feeling weight to it, without being burdensome on the wrist as some larger Wear OS devices can become after a long day. As you know, you can make or take phone calls with the Apple Watch, either through Bluetooth earbuds or through the watch's built-in speaker. And while yes, it looks kind of goofy talking to your wrist, it works quite well. so long as you're not in a noisy environment, since the speaker doesn't get that loud. But calls sound good on both ends, so there's not much to complain about here. Other than looking ignorant talking to your wrist in public, it's almost as bad as those people that talk on speakerphone in public, or even worse, FaceTime. Honestly, I'm not even sure why I'm covering this section since it's a watch, but here we go anyway. For the sake of being thorough in my coverage. Performance. Going from the Apple Watch Series 4 to the 5, I can't say I've noticed much of a difference. Of course, I never had both devices side by side, so maybe that would have been a different story. The Series 5 internally has the Apple S5 chip. From the year prior's S4 chip, paired with 1GB of RAM, 32GB of onboard storage for music and apps. That's up from 16GB of last year. As well as a 296 mAh battery for the 44mm model, as I have here. Up from 292 from the Series 4. I'm sure that's going to make a huge difference. Day-to-day operation of the watch has been snappy, with really no lag to speak of. Surprising feat after the train wreck of an experience I had with iOS 13 on the 11 Pro Max. Swiping through menus, apps, and the OS in general has been good. Even if the watch is similar to wearing an iPod Nano on your wrist. Even though it has a small battery, though not entirely its fault, it does need to sit on a wrist after all. I found that without always on display enabled, it is in fact a 2-day device. Your usage will vary though, since I don't use my Apple Watch for everything it's capable of, especially not lately. With always on display enabled, you can expect that battery life to be cut in half, lasting just one full day between charges with a brightness between 50 and 75%. Thankfully, the charger included in the box is able to top it up decently quickly. And there are battery saving measures put in place here. However, I prefer not to use them since it sort of reduces the capability of the device. With the introduction of the Series 4, Apple shifted focus to health and fitness, including the fall detection feature, activity tracking, and the ECG feature built into the digital crown. The Apple Watch can also detect when an area you're in has noise levels that could impact your hearing. Neat. This is on top of Apple's frankly incredible heart rate sensor, as well as the fun activity tracker that will allow you to make exercising a competition against friends. The built-in health app can even store your ECG and heart rate readings for you to send to your doctor as additional information if it detects anything unusual. This is especially important for the older among us, as while it won't detect a heart attack or other illnesses, it can be an important tool in catching on to anything irregular. Alongside all of this, the Apple Watch has built-in GPS and cellular, the latter being in the cellular model only, of course. What this offers is route tracking and timing of your runs without needing to burden yourself carrying a phone. And I found that it makes it much like a game where I've constantly tried to close all 3 rings. And finally, let's talk about the Apple tax. Sorry, I mean pricing. Depending on which material, bands, case size, and connectivity option you go with, you can expect to pay $399 all the way to an insane $1,700 for the ceramic option. With stainless steel and titanium coming in at $749 and $849. Personally, I've never purchased an Apple Watch above the 44mm aluminum model for the reason of weight and price. And you shouldn't either. Unless you're just looking to flex on your friends and family. But seriously, don't do that. The Series 5 can be found on sale on sites like Amazon, Best Buy, or B&H Photo for a few hundred off in some cases. And as we get closer to the Series 6 launch, the deals will only get better. The Apple Watch is perhaps the most complete smartwatch on the market, from its build to its health and fitness features. It really offers a range of choices for most budgets, despite costing nearly the price of the new iPhone SE. Or, at the top end, more than a fully loaded 11 Pro Max. and for whatever reason has quickly become my favorite piece of tech from the last few years. The screen is fantastic, and I actually really enjoy watchOS as well as responding to notifications without ever taking my phone out of my pocket. With the Series 6 looming on the horizon, appearing to not be too big of an upgrade from the current watch, yes, the price of the Series 5 is likely to come down from $399 to well below $300 for the base 42mm model. However, it's best to wait until after the event to pull the trigger. If you're looking for a new Apple Watch or you're coming from a Series 3 or older, now is a good time to upgrade, since some of the new features of the Series 6 will likely make their way to the Series 5 as well. I'm Dave with Tech Tip. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of you. Stay tuned as I have Z Flip coverage coming very soon, followed by my iPhone SE 2020 review. Follow me on Instagram for some behind the scenes, and don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed this video.